Welcome back to the Snakes here on OOTP 23. We are getting ready to kick off the 2026 season here. It is spring training. This is the 60-man roster that we are rocking with here with spring training. We're just going to scroll through this real quick. If you want to pause and see if there's a player on there, you're interested in seeing if there's a player on there, you can do that. But that is the roster we are going to be rolling with. We will pick things back up here at the end of spring. Alrighty, so we have reached opening day, but before we actually jump into the sim here, let's actually take a look at what our team is going to be looking like here in 2026. There's the pitching side of things here. Our staff right now is looking like Morjan, Sandoval, Lopez, Hernandez, and Rincon actually is going to get some shot here as the fifth starter to start off the season, because if we take a look at our injured list here, Eric Jokic did get hurt in spring training, so he's going to be out for like 3 weeks. And while he is recovering from his injury, we are going to have our man Rincon getting that shot as a starting pitcher and seeing if the hype is actually something to be excited about or if he is just, not going to be anything. But maybe, who knows, maybe we have ourselves a diamond in the rough here. Prospect ranking sure does seem like we have something, and we're going to give him a shot. While the rest of the bullpen, Sanchez in the stopper role, I thought about putting him in that fifth spot instead of Rincon, but I figured, hey, why not figure out what we have in Rincon? Cruz and DL Hall are the setup. Also thought about putting DL Hall in the starter role, but as you can see here, he has 70 stuff here, 50 movement. Don't like the movement for the starter. Move it down. He automatically drops down to a 60 stuff when it comes to being a starter, so I just felt like we'd rather have him in the bullpen instead as a setup man. And then we've got Luke Murphy, Jay Groom, Mackenzie Gore, Raisel Iglesias, and Bryce Elder as the rest of the bullpen here. Iglesias is down as the use less often guy because he completely fell off the map here in spring training, because of course he did. We trade for him and he just literally just falls off a map. So that trade might not end up being too great. It's not like we gave up anything for him, though. We just gave up some depth, AAA outfielder. We have plenty of that. But who knows? Maybe Iglesias is still able to put together a decent season. But, I mean, I'm not liking what I'm seeing here. We have him for this year and next year. So he might be a, DFA sort of guy if we can't find a way to either make him useful or get him off the team. While on the hitting side of things, our 1-9 against right-handed pitching is Johnson, Thomas, Mullins, and then Josue Cruz, however you say it. Davison De Los Santos, Carroll, Escado, Lawler, and Perry. You may notice that Escado is currently hurt, but he just has a hand contusion. He's out for 3 days. He'll just, he won't play for the first 3 days of the season, but we're not gonna put him on the IL with a 3-day injury here. While the bench guys against right-handed pitching are Rafael Marchand is the catcher who makes it because he is out of options, while Soto, the other catcher that we have, is down at AAA because he does have options. Biggio, Kasevich, and Tim Tawa are the bench players here in the big leagues. Well, if we look over on the left-hand side of things, it is a little bit different. Carroll, Thomas, Mullins, De Los Santos, Cruz, Escado, Lawler, Perry, and Kasevich is the second baseman because Tamar Johnson, although we would ideally like him to play against both sides, was, I don't think I'm going to be able to look at this, am I? Yeah, no, I'm probably not going to be able to look at this, but his splits against lefties last season were not good whatsoever. So we're just going to roll with Kasevich here as the second baseman against left-handed pitching because I feel like he's a guy who can handle that role. But overall, though, I do feel like we have a lot more pop in the lineup this year. I feel very, very confident about our 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. These guys are all, I'm thinking, are going to have really solid, at least around league average seasons. It's just going to come down to what Escado and Lawler gives us. I feel like they're going to be pretty good, but I mean, they could end up not being as good as I think they're going to be. And even Perry, I feel like Perry is going to be a pretty solid player for us. My scout likes him a lot. OSA likes him a lot. I think we've got ourselves a pretty good 1-9 here. I don't really see any weak spots, to be quite honest, in our lineup. Our pitching, I feel like that's solid. Rotation, we don't have any ace, but I mean, I feel like we have a bunch of like number 3 starters types guys. I feel like we could definitely be a solid team this year. But once again, the National League predictions think that we are just going to be a middling 80 and 82 team. I guess they think we're not going to score enough runs to keep up with our pitching. Not going to hit too many home runs either. I don't know why they think we have such a bad power lineup. I feel like we have a lot of power guys. And then once again, they do not think that any of our players are going to be one of the top hitters in the National League this season, nor do they think any of our pitchers are going to be one of the top pitchers in the National League this season. But I will say, though, out of the teams in the NL West, we had the best spring training record, so I do like to see that. So before we embark on the season here, just a little update. We do have about $17 million to spend, and remember that is between we have the zero set to the draft budget and the international amateur. So this $17 million is what we'll have to spend between both the international amateur and the draft. And we have like the number 3 pick this season. So I feel like a big chunk of that's going to go to our draft, which is fine. I'm fine with not giving a big deal to somebody in the international amateurs this season. So as far as our prospects here go, just a quick little rundown of some of our top guys. Nelson Pineda, you may remember him. We picked him up as an international free agent. He is the number 8 prospect, apparently. And he had like 128 plate appearances in rookie ball last season. If we take a look at what he would be in the California League, still not the best ratings. Obviously, the potential-wise is there, but I don't want to rush this guy. I don't want to rush him and have him just be get just torn up and get development, get all over the place. We're not trying to do that, so we're just going to take it slow with him. He's still 18. We're going to keep him in rookie ball for another season, and maybe after maybe a little bit of rookie ball, maybe he ends up going back up to A ball, or he goes up to A ball at the end of this season or something, but we're not going to try to rush this guy because he is such a high caliber of a prospect that we don't want to screw him up. We've also got Sterling Jewell, who is 16. He's in the international complex. That's, self-explanatory. Rincon, we know about him. Luis Rivas is currently in rookie ball, I believe. Yes, he's in rookie ball as a 20-year-old. He was a scouting discovery for us. What would he be in the California League? Still, not, the potential jumps a bit, but he's not like the greatest guy, so we're probably just going to run him back at rookie ball because he wasn't great in rookie, so, better safe than sorry. We've got Capochi, who's been in our system for a while now. He was our 3rd-round pick in 2023. He is a guy who finally put together a good season last year in Double-A, and he's going to start this season in Double-A. Might have done in Triple-A at some point. We'll have to see how things go with him. Trenton Shaw is a very interesting player. He is in Double-A for us right now. 55 potential, my scout thinks. He could be a very solid pitcher for us. Was very good in High A last season when he came over and got drafted out of Oklahoma State as our 2nd-round pick. So he's a guy who's in Double-A this year. If he tears things up, we could see him in the big leagues at some point this year. Antonio Anderson, who was our 1st-round pick in 2023, year 2 of this sim, he is a guy who really still hasn't figured things out, has yet to put together a solid season, but my scout still likes him. My scout thinks he's good, so he's still 20. He's underage for where he's at, so who knows? Maybe he will start to put things together this season, and this year will be the year he breaks out and looks like our future 3rd baseman. Anthony Cole is also a guy we have in Double-A at the moment. He is a guy who could potentially have some really, really good eye discipline, solid contact too. Probably not a great fielder at any position. Maybe try to get him some time at first base this year as well, but even then it's just corner infield. He's also a guy who hasn't really put together too many great seasons here, but still the scout thinks that he could put together a really, really good eye discipline, so definitely still a guy to keep an eye on here. He's going to repeat Double-A here this season. And then we got our guy Rock Riggio here. He is going to be force starting some 3rd base here. He was up on the spring training roster, force starting at 3rd base too, but for whatever reason they just didn't really play him there in the sim. But he is going to start the AAA season as a 3rd baseman here, get some time at that position, and hopefully just add to his repertoire here. And he could also be a guy who ends up in the big leagues at some point this season. And then we have our man Coy James, who was our 1st-round pick last year. He is with the Rawhide this year to start the season. Was not good in rookie ball, but we just want to get him a full season of baseball in, so we are going to have him play up in the A-ball to get him a full season here. Hopefully he puts together a decent year. Another interesting player we have, obviously we're trying Escada at 3rd base. If he doesn't work out, somebody who could be very interesting is Manuel Pena, 22-year-old lefty-righty 3rd baseman. Very good gap power, could possibly have some decent contact power to go along with it. Another guy who just really hasn't done too much in the minors, but my scout likes him for some reason. Could be interesting, could not be, but definitely a guy that we have available to us if we need a third baseman. All right, so Cavalli is basically done with his, or he is done with his rehab assignment here. We have to bring him back up. The thing is, he was not good in his rehab assignment down in AAA. Not exactly, happy about that. But we do have to make a decision here. We could even make a decision where we send somebody down, call Cavalli up, and then you send Cavalli down too, and bring up 2 new guys. Hernandez could be the possibility, or we could just do something where we send Hernandez down as like a paper move and then bring him back up just immediately. I think I want to see what he would do in more than just 5 starts, but I mean, he has not been looking pretty in 5 starts here for us. Same with Bryce Elder here. He also has not been looking too hot here. Or I guess the FIP's been good. He's been striking out a lot of guys. I guess he's just been kind of getting screwed with the ERA. So yeah, we're going to not worry about him either. But I think the paper move we're going to do is we're going to send Hernandez down to AAA just momentarily. We're going to call Cavalli back up to Arizona here. And then we are just going to immediately send Cavalli back down to Reno. And then Hernandez comes back to Arizona, just like that. And he now slots back into his spot as as one of our starters. All right, ends up not even mattering about Kenny Hernandez because he just got a herniated disc. He's out for 3 weeks now. That is not great. We wanted to see what we had with him. He goes 7 starts and was pretty bad in all those 7 starts. So Eric Jokic was done with his rehab assignment, essentially, so we are having him up here in the big leagues as he is now slotting in Hernandez's spot in the rotation. We're a little bit into May here, so just a little bit of an update here on the roster. Things have not been going as we would hoped. Iglesias has been pretty bad here, not walking anybody, but also not striking out anybody, just been not very good, giving up way too many home runs. Luke Murphy also has not been great for us, also giving up too many home runs. Don't like to see that. Jay Groom and Mackenzie Gore have been good, though, in the pennant, it seems. All right, let's just sort this by ERA+. What am I doing? So Cruz, Gore, Groom, Elder, Hall, and he just called up, so it doesn't matter. These are really the only pitchers who have been doing anything for us, ERA+, wise. But Lopez, Rincon, Sandoval, Morjan, Sanchez, Murphy, Iglesias, all of these guys have been quite bad, so we don't like to see that. And then when it comes to the bats, right now, things are not going too terribly, but also not the greatest either. Like, Corbin Carroll's been very good here, so is De Los Santos, Mullins has been good, Marchand as the backup catcher has been good, Cruz has been hitting home runs and doubles, Biggio's been fine as a backup. Escato is actually starting to turn things around. Last time I checked, he had like a 60 WRC+, so it looks like he's starting to actually get things together here, but he is striking out almost 40% of the time, so that is not sustainable at all here in the big leagues. Tamar Johnson hasn't been great. Thomas hasn't been great. Perry's hasn't been great, and he's been striking out an absolute ton. Kasevich has not been great in his platoon. Tawa has not been great in his time. Lawler has just been straight up awful. I mean, 15 WRC plus in like 116 plate appearances. Jesus, what are you doing? All right, we're here a few days later. It's May 19th. We're making some adjustments here to the pitching staff. As you can see, things have not gone well. We are 20-28. We need to make some changes here. So Jokic has gotten 3 starts here, and he is just been not good whatsoever here. I was hoping that he would have been able to be what he was for the White Sox with us, but it turns out he's not. So we aren't even going to mess around here. We are just going to straight up waive and DFA him, and we are just going to go straight up and release him. So Jokic, we will pay that fine. Don't even worry about it. Boom, you're gone. Also, Raisel Iglesias here. He is a guy who just, he doesn't strike out anybody anymore, and he gives up way too many home runs. So he's a guy we are also going to have to waive in DFA here. See if he gets claimed, and if he doesn't, then we will probably just release him as well. Down in AAA, we have our man Slade here. as he has actually been very good in AAA here this season in 7 starts. So we're just going to say, hey, screw it. We're going to give this guy his shot here in the big leagues. He is going to come up. Boom, you're in Arizona. And then we've also called up Jack Weissenberger here from AAA. He was tearing things up in 18 innings in the minor leagues, so we decided to bring him up here, and he is now in our major league bullpen. Slade is slotted into the starter role, and this is what we are rocking with here, as DL Hall is also now our stopper because Christopher Sanchez has not been good. And let's take a look at the box score of Slade's first MLB start here. He goes 4 2/3, gives up 3 hits, 2 runs, 3 walks, 6 Ks though, and he does get the win, 7-2. He doesn't get the win. Bryce Elder gets the win, but Slade did get these starts. I'll take that. We win the game 7-2. We get a little triple from Mullins, double from Cruz, and Escado, home run, 2 home runs from De Los Santos actually. All right, so Raisel Iglesias has indeed cleared waivers, and he's gotten worse. So, I mean, what else can you say here? Raisel Iglesias, obviously nobody's going to want to trade for him here, so we're just going to have to bite the bullet on him and pay him the $6 million that he gets. Alrighty, so the month of May just comes to an end, and we just had Escado win Rookie of the Month here in the Major Leagues. Very, very good to see. Boom, Michael Escado here. Still striking out a ton, but he's also hitting a lot of home runs here. He's got 11 home runs, 12 doubles. I will absolutely take that as our corner infield guy. And as we can see here, also, Rock Reggio has been very good down in AAA this season. 127 WRC plus, 6 home runs, 9 doubles. Getting on base a ton. Very, very impressed with what I'm seeing so far here. We might have to find a spot for him in the major leagues very soon here. Where that spot would be, I don't really know if we even have one other than a bench spot. But I mean, even then, Biggio's been very good. You know, maybe he could come in as like a backup outfielder. But I mean, do we really want him as a backup outfielder when we just, you know, he'd just be like in Tawa's role? Not playing center field, but I mean, he would just be like, you know, a 4th outfielder. And right now, Biggio is flourishing in that role. He's got a 126 WRC plus in that playing 1st, 3rd, and corner outfield role as a backup. So Reggio's been good, but we don't really have a spot for him at the moment. One thing we are going to have to figure out, though, is Jordan Lawler here, because he has just been awful. I mean, he is... My scouts starting to doubt him. OSA starting to doubt him. I mean, he has just been absolutely god-awful at the plate this season. And he has not been a good defender, as you would expect. So, I mean, I think we have to make a move right now here. And, I mean, if we take a look in AAA, we have Rodriguez, who we traded for, who we could call up. And he, you know, he would be a decent shortstop. He's been fine when it comes to playing shortstop, but not, you know, not enough to where it would make up for his bat. But I would not be opposed to calling up straight from AA Alberto Mendez here, who obviously has not been good at the bat, as you would expect. But I mean, come on. He's like a almost 80 overall shortstop here. Or 80 grade shortstop rating, 75 at the moment. I mean, he is just the elite of the elite here. In AA, he's already got a 7 ZR. I'm thinking we're going to do that. I'm thinking that's what the move is here. Jordan Lawler is going to go down to AAA, and we are going to call straight up from AA Mr. Alberto Mendez here to the big leagues, and he is going to become our shortstop. Boom. Move up Perry a spot. No, I'm not trying to do that. God damn it. Doing the lag thing it always does when you leave OOTP open for too long. So Mendez moves down a spot there. And then against lefties, he also starts. And he will be moved down multiple spots. So boom, there we have it. That's what we're rocking with right now. I'm also thinking that since Kasevich really hasn't, you know, played too much, and I'd rather just have him as a backup, we are just going to move him as a backup. And put Tamar Johnson as the second baseman against lefties, just kind of buried down in the lineup, though. So I'm thinking we need to do something about Sanchez here. I think we're just going to send him down, honestly. I mean, this is back-to-back months of just really poor performance here. Not good in April, not good in May. Not turning things around here. maybe we might roll with him a bit more in June and then send him down if he doesn't turn things around. But I mean, we are, trying to put together a decent bullpen here, and he is not cutting it. I mean, we take a look at guys like Murphy, who has a 5 ERA, but if you take a look at his splits here, he's actually been much better here in April and May, actually. It was just, he had 2 really bad outings in March that really inflated his ERA, but here in April and May, he's actually been quite solid. And Sanchez is pitching a ton, too, so I think we're just going to go straight up and send him down to AAA. He's out of options, never mind. So today is June 5th, and that means it is the first-year player draft, and we are actually starting to turn things around here. We're 30-32, no longer last in the division. Really starting to have a decent little stretch here. If we take a look, winning record 16-14 in the month of May. So that's what I like to see. Starting to turn things around. Stealing a lot of bases here, not striking out a ton, getting some good base running, extra base hits, 5th in the National League. Scoring runs, still not where I'd like to be, but it looks like we're a scrappy team. We're starting to put things together here. Maybe things will improve as we go on. The pitching, though, just overall has not been great, giving up too many home runs. We are striking out a decent amount of guys, though. The defense has been really bad, too, which is not what I like to see at all. Maybe that improves now that we have Mendez up at shortstop. But, I don't feel like we're that bad of a defensive team. We have good defenders. But, maybe that changes now that we have Mendez up because he's only played 1 game, so maybe Mendez will completely turn that around. But, Mullins in center field's been good offensively. He's been fine defensively, so I don't know why we would have, the worst zone rating. I guess De Los Santos hasn't been a good first baseman, but, you would think he would be fine, but I guess he's not defensively. Tamar Johnson... Okay, now I'm starting to see it. Tamar Johnson, -3 zone rating. Not what you want to see there. And then Escato, is this where it's going to be? No, he actually hasn't been as bad, but, not good either. Corbin Carroll, I guess he's been below league average with the ZR. And then Alec Thomas, he's been good. So I'm not really sure what the issue is here with our defense. I don't feel like we're that bad defensively. Maybe it was just Lawler. Maybe it was Lawler was taking a huge chunk out of our ZR as a team. But we'll have to see how the season goes on from here. But before we do that, we will jump into the first-year player draft. All right, so before we actually hop into the first-year player draft here, just a reminder that we have this amount of money to spend here in both the draft and the international amateur free agent signing period. So I'm predicting that a good chunk of this is going to be going into the draft because, as we can see here, we have the number 2 overall pick. I thought we had the 3rd. We actually have the number 2 overall pick this season. So definitely a good chunk of that's going to be going to probably just to our first-round pick here. If we take a look at our mock draft here, they expect us to be taking Bobby Dahl, a 3rd baseman, who appears very good. Howard College. Shout out Howard College, one of my buddies who actually broke Todd Frazier's records at Toms River South, went on to play at Howard College for a year or 2. But shout out Howard College. And this guy's looking pretty solid. He could be a really good 3rd baseman, 65 range, 65 arm. That is ideal. So, if he's there, I'd definitely be interested in this guy as a solid corner infield, even a good defender at 3rd base. So the Rockies did indeed take the guy they were projected to take here, Mike Dodd, another 3rd baseman. Not as good defensively, but rocket of an arm here over on the corner. Looks like he could play some corner outfield as well. Probably going to be a solid player here. $10 million bonus demand. They took him. And our guy Bobby Dahl is still here available at the number 2 overall pick. The Vanilla Missile, I just realized that. Pretty solid nickname as well. But do we want to go with this guy? There is this first baseman. He is a first baseman, though, so probably not trying to go after him. Very cheap demand. But still, I'd rather have a guy who has positional versatility or plays a more premier position than just first base, like this guy does. This guy seems interesting. Impossible signing, though. Definitely not going to be going after him then, because I'm not trying to give him $20 million or whatever it would take to get an impossible guy to sign. Another first baseman, Greg Hall. It's looking like the guy we're going to be going with is Bobby Dahl here. But center fielder Kevin Shar from TCU. He'd be an interesting player, but I'm thinking I'm leaning Bobby Dahl here unless there's like there are some good outfield range guys, but I mean like somebody like this, I'd be interested in taking next round possibly, but not first overall when there is somebody like Bobby Dahl available. There is this pitcher here, but I mean, look at this. He's a reliever. He is straight up a reliever, even if he is from Don Bosco Prep. Not interested in that. Low work ethic too, and I don't like taking pitchers and even high school pitchers at that this early. So yeah, we're going to be taking Bobby Dahl here, the guy they recommend us to take. He is, so his bonus demand is the recommended slot, so 9 million. We will do that. Bobby Vanilla Missile Dahl to Howard College, JUCO in Texas. Boom. That is our pick here, number 2 overall. So now we are here in the second round. The Marlins just took a guy named Guadalupe Tarantula. What a name. My scat's not very high on him, neither is OSA. A little bit of an older guy from Hawaii, though. Do like that. Love the Bows. This right fielder is still here. Now, he's, like I said, he's the guy, the impossible guy. What am I doing? Think, Jeremy. He is the impossible guy. Starting pitcher, not interested. The catcher, definitely more of a first baseman here. Absolutely more of a first baseman than a catcher. But he does seem like he could have some decent hit tool here. So maybe. I mean, I'm really interested in this guy, but he's impossible. So I'm not, we can't afford him. Starting pitcher from Massachusetts, even. No, I don't like what that movement would be. Not interested. Places a high school arm. This guy's a high school arm too. I'm not interested in taking a high school arm here. But it looks like, yeah, that guy Burris, the outfielder with 70 range or whatever it was, who had the decent potential, got taken. There is this guy with 50 potential and 75 range, but low work ethic. Never going to be a great hitter. Definitely not a second-round caliber talent in my mind. My scout thinks we should take, this catcher who's more of a first baseman. That's who he thinks we should go with. I do like this center fielder. This guy is interesting. High schooler. Could possibly be a very, very good bat. 75 hit tool, that would be good, or a contact tool. Probably more of a corner outfielder. Don't like the low intelligence, but, straight shooter and hard worker, that is good. Decent speed. Could play a decent left-right field, center field in a pinch. Righty-lefty is a weird thing. But, possibly. Also born in 2008. I'm extremely old. I think we're leaning Andy Rowe here. He is the number 1 guy I'm looking at right now. Robbie Rich, incredible name. Incredible sack bunter. Another Don Bosco prep guy. Another corner outfielder, though. I think we're just going to go Andy Rowe here. Andy Rowe, high school outfielder. Tampa, the Tampa area. Boom, that's our second round pick. Move things on to round 3. Scouting director thinks we should take this high school pitcher from Massachusetts. I mean, we could. Don't like the low intelligence. Also don't like fly ball. I'm really trying to focus on having either like power pitcher neutral guys or guys who just focus on ground balls. And that's really what I find success with in like every OOTP game, is just having like an entire staff of ground ball guys and maybe a couple guys who just completely overpower you. But I really, really try to stay away from fly ball, especially extreme fly ball guys. I don't mind having a fly ball guy here or there, but even this guy, the movement, being a fly ball, if he only has 45 movement as a fly ball guy, he's going to be giving up home runs left and right, and he's never really going to be that too good. So not really interested in that. Maybe if there's nobody else here I'm liking, Doug Canning is a shortstop. I do like this. High work ethic, baseball rat, decent base running, can play all over the place. Looks like he has some decent outfield. Yeah, 65 outfield range too. This guy is very interesting, from Kent State. Decent bat too, 55 contact possibly, some good gap power, could avoid K. I'm liking this guy, Doug Canning from Kent State. Mike Holloman, another pitcher, not interested. Guy's got a good, like, NASCAR name, John Luke Poole. Don't like the personality, though. We do have this guy, Dave Anderson, 50 potential, 75 range. He's the low work ethic guy. Yeah, not interested. We're just going to go with the shortstop. We're going to go with the high work ethic shortstop, Doug Canning, switch hitter, decent range. Can also play some center field, possibly other outfit positions. So possible, maybe shortstop someday, maybe utility guy. Decent bat as well on him. So we're going to go with him, Doug Canning. Boom, that's our 3rd round pick. Move things on to round 4. Our scat, once again, thinks we should take this high school pitcher who is still here. I mean, he does have the 75 potential, so we might just kind of go for that here in this 3rd round. We do have to be concerned a little bit about the budget because, remember, we do have to, have at least some money open if we want to try to make some deals at the deadline or, maybe sign like a cheap guy or two in the international amateurs. But you can see here our bonus demands of drafted players is 12 million, so this would shoot that up to 14, and we have 17 available. So maybe not try to get this guy, but there's not really anybody out here who jumps out at me right now. It looks like the outfield range guy got taken. There's some other guys that we could possibly try to get a little bit later on, like Chris Glover here would be a guy I'm interested in. He can play infield too. Solid infielder too, play really good second base, as well as a good center field. Left field, right field as well, obviously. High work ethic, love the speed, love the bunt for hit. Real old school player, JUCO guy out of Fort Scott Community College. I don't know if I want to take him here. Maybe next round we would go for Chris Glover here. I do like that possibility. Who is this guy? 70 outfield range and 70 infield range. Weird stuff there. Definitely not a 4th round talent, though. There's also this guy, also not a 4th round talent, I would say. From New Jersey, went to UNC. Classic stuff there. Another one of the schools that love to steal New Jersey guys. I mean, maybe we could just go for the pitcher. Who's this guy? Starter. Once again, he has high work ethic, though, so Waterton has low intelligence and is easily influenced by his teammates. So I guess that means if we surround him with a bunch of guys who are like leaders and have high work ethic, then he would also perform like that. And we do try to fill our minor leagues with guys who don't have awful personalities, so that could be a thing. This Sam Rice guy, though, high work ethic, high adaptability, baseball rat, but I don't like he could possibly have an elite changeup, but I don't like that his movement's never going to be great. So I think we're gonna go with the pitcher here. What our scout thinks. Boom. A little bit over slot there, but I think the 75 potential is worth it. So we move things on to round 5 now. Scout thinks we should take Sam Rice. The other pitcher that we were thinking about going, his bonus demand is 7,500, which is a bit over slot at this point in the draft. Maybe we go for him, or maybe we try to get Glover. His potential is only 45, but I'm concerned that he would drop, or he would get taken because of his outfield range here. So, we possibly could just let him try to take like Sam Rice here. I mean, we are really cutting it thin on the budget, though, so we're probably gonna have to try to free up some funds here at some point, maybe a trade or something. But probably best that we try to get somebody who is demanding at least a round slot. Like this guy's interesting, catcher, 65 catcher ability. We've taken a lot of catchers the past few years in the draft, though, so maybe not. I do like the high work ethic. Once again, I don't like the movement on this guy. His stuff and changeup could be good, but I mean, he's probably just going to end up being a reliever with that type of movement. Screw it, we're going to take Glover. Glover's, he's right here. So, you don't have to scroll down too far to get to him. Chris Glover, boom. We're going to take him here in the 5th round. He is our guy. Move things on to round 6. Scat still thinks we should take Sam Rice. I'm not totally convinced. This guy is interesting. Not a great fielder. Good leader, though. Possible, really solid bat here. Went to Tennessee. Born in New Jersey. Went to a Tennessee high school. and is committed to USC. Interesting. Very interesting. Sam Rice does have a bonus demand that is higher than slot right now. It's only 7,500, but it would add this up into the 1,500s, which would basically only have $2 million in budget for us, which is not a good spot to be in. Chris Watson also has 7,500, so he would also add that. Those are the two guys that I'm really looking at right now, is Sam Rice and Chris Watson. This Jeremy Kane guy, not really interesting to me. Good 2 pitches, but really bad movement. Definitely just a reliever. The shortstop is interesting. Low work ethic, though, from Baylor. Good defender. Probably not much more than that. College shortstop. What's his demand? Just slot. So we could go for the slot here and go for him. Just get a good defensive shortstop in the system. Who is this guy? Stephen Malam. LSU. Second base. Could play shortstop in a pinch. Maybe some left field, too. Good contact, very good avoid K. He is interesting, but he's more of a guy that I would be willing to take like a little bit later. But who knows? Maybe he would be taken at this point. I do like the elite avoid K. Solid contact, too. Maybe. He's a switch hitter, too, so I like that. Here's another elite defensive middle infielder, college guy from University of Arizona. Another guy who's never going to hit, but he's got some elite range and error here. I should stop calling 70 grade range elite, because it's not, but it's very, very good, and it's like, usually like you want your shortstop to at least have 70 grade range, and he has that. He has 70 grade error too. He has a 40 potential, so probably not going to take him here, but there is this Argyros guy who we just looked at. There is Jim Keith. And the other guy was Stephen Malam that we were thinking of. All of them are wanting slot, I believe. Keith and Malam do, and so does Argyros. Yeah, so they all just want what is recommended for this pick. And who is this guy? Starting pitcher, good work ethic, elite hold runners, high work ethic, high intelligence. Don't like the fly ball, but he could possibly have 3 like average pitches, then like a really good changeup, good control, average stuff. A little bit higher demand than most guys around this time, but I do like the personality. He is interesting, but he's got like the same demand that Sam Rice has. So I feel like if I was gonna take a guy here, I would probably just take Sam Rice because of the potential. 65, the potential is not everything, obviously, but I feel like the gap between a 65 potential and who is this guy? And a 45 potential is also he's older than the other guy. This guy's got high work ethic as well. But yeah, we're just going to go Sam Rice here. Sam Rice is our 6th round pick. Boom, move things on 7th round. Dad thinks we should take Ethan Sutton, who is a third baseman. Not very interested in him. I think we're going to take one of those college infielders here. It looks like Jim Keith got taken. Did they both? Wait, did both the rangy guys get taken? So only Malam is here, and both Jim Keith and Argyros got taken. That's great. Fantastic. So might as well take Malam while he's still here. Boom, taking him. Move things on to the 8th round. Scouting director thinks we should take Mark Eichelman. Extreme fly ball reliever. No, thank you. 25 movement, too. Absolutely no thank you. But like the best guy available here is a 50 potential, so I'm not really looking at potentials too much anymore. Now we're just kind of looking for guys who have like one standout tool at that point of the draft here. So outfield range, that's always important. This guy's got a very good avoid K and good range. Low work ethic, though, don't like that. Montana State is very interesting. Coming out of that school of all places. Maybe not him here, though. Bethley, high work ethic guy. New Jersey, UNC guy. I probably already said that about him. Mike Glick is interesting because he's got the good infield range and the good outfield range, but also low work ethic. Yeah, so I think we're going to take the 70 grade range here. Abdul Bethley, New Jersey, UNC guy. Could possibly have a decent eye, really good speed, really good sack bunt for hit. Old school speedy guy, really. Play an elite center field, possibly at a college. Boom, we're taking him here in the 8th round. Move things along. 9th round now. Director thinks we should take Ethan Sutton. We already said no to him. Still not interested. Infield range guys. This guy, high work ethic, 70 grade range. At a Stanford, don't like that. Here's a guy listed at center field but has better infield range than outfield range, Don Bosco Prep. But there's so many Don Bosco Prep guys in this class. Any possible contact potential guys? First baseman who can hit a little bit but has no power. Chris Watson is still here, and his demand's 7,500. So he would have an extra demand there. We could take him. Center fielder, really good avoid K, like that. Switch hitter, high work ethic. Corner outfielder, though. Catcher with 60 grade ability and 75 grade possible avoid K. Went to McGill. One of my buddies went to McGill. I think we're just going to take the catcher here, Chris Watson. Just pay him the demand that he wants. He looks like he could be a solid catcher, so we are going to give him a shot here as our 9th round pick. And we will now move on. So yeah, we have 15 million in bonus. We're only going to have like 2 million in budget, so not trying to get any over demand guys here. And just kind of get some guys who are recommended slot at this point out. We feel like we haven't taken too many pitchers here. Maybe try to find ourselves a potential pitcher here with some good stuff. Good stuff and contact or control here. Not great movement, though. Pretty bad movement, honestly. Bergen Catholic. Interesting. Born in LA, but went to Bergen Catholic and wants to go back out west. Ground ball guys really just don't exist in the draft. I mean, there's 3 of them. One of them is an extreme ground ball high schooler who's got nothing except for his elite movement. He's like a guy you would take in like the 20th round with the movement potential, and just hopefully something comes out of that. But not right now in the 10th round. Colton Cross, another guy. College starter. Probably not going to be anything here. Greg Carpenter, probably not going to be anything. Maybe we try to take him a little bit later, but not right now. I think we might just take this guy because he's got the stuff, the control, the 2 possibly good pitches. Ben Geis, yeah, we'll take him at a Bergen Catholic here. Move things on, round 11. Yeah, thinks we should take, this pitcher who I did recognize, or I did notice here, because he has 4 possible really good pitches, some solid stuff, decent or like average control. Fly ball pitcher, don't like. High work ethic, though. Let's just go with what the scout wants here. I like him enough. Jeff Bustler out of Wisconsin. Move things on to round 12. Scout thinks we should take Chris Hawk. High work ethic. Second baseman. Prefer not to just get like a second baseman who can't really hit at this point. Movement guys. There's the high school guy that we looked at. Troll guys. Nobody like that. Is there any like batters who can pitch that are like mislisted? Doesn't really seem so. What about any pitchers who can hit? Couple of those guys. This guy's got some power to him. Travis Sakura. Interesting. Definitely more of a hitter. Has a little bit of bonus demand, though, at a UT like that. If we take a look at some bats, we got some like a high school switch hitter here. Really good avoid K. High work ethic. I think we're going to lean him. Jorge Arce, whatever his name is, from Rocky Mountain High School. Boom, we're taking him. Move things on. 13th round. Scouting director thinks we should take this extreme fly ball. No thank you. Don't even care that he went to Vandy. Like I always say, I do always try to get like 1 or 2 catchers in draft classes. So this guy seems like he's interesting. 55 catcher ability. Really, really slow, but he's a catcher. Decent avoid K possibly. 17 years old, not even 18 yet. We're gonna take this guy. Boom. 17-year-old catcher. That's our 13th round pick. Move things on to round 14. This high school first baseman here can't really play any position and has no power to him, but can seem like he's a good contact avoid K guy. Are there any like big power bats? I feel like just throughout our entire system we're missing power bats. Like this guy. Jerry here. Interesting home run eye to him. High work ethic, high intelligence. I think I'm leaning this guy, honestly. High school, righty first baseman, but don't really care too much about that. Yeah, we're going to go him here. Jerry. Boom. Move things on. Round 15. Scouting director thinks we should take this Vandy guy again, extreme fly ball. I'm saying absolutely no chance we're doing that. Still some 70 outfield range guys here. That's interesting. This guy is one of them from Georgia Tech. Good defender infield too, but better in the outfield, but listed as a shortstop. This guy is interesting. Switch hitter, has high intelligence but low work ethic. Decent range, really good speed, elite bunt for hit. Good eye. Could be an interesting player here. Interesting guy to possibly roll the dice on. We're going to do it. Jerry Bradley. Boom. He's our 15th round pick. Move things on around 16. And scouting director thinks we should. He really wants this Ethan Sutton fella. I don't. I guess he's got some good pitches here. Third base with some possible decent gap power. But I mean, I don't like him. I'm not a fan of this fella. There's some infielder here, he's listed as an outfielder, low work ethic, but he's got 70 grade range. He's from Vineland. Wait, could he pitch a little? No, he can't. He can play a bunch of different positions. Low work ethic, don't like that. But who are the best high schoolers available here? 45 potential on this guy. Like the eye. Possible good defender here. Don't like the work ethic. But, yeah, decent, like, utility potential, gonna get on base a decent amount. Like I said, don't like the work ethic, but he is, like, the highest potential high school guy here, so we're gonna go with him. Things on, round 17. Yeah, I think we should take Joe DeGroot. Power hitter, catcher. Not catcher, power hitter, corner outfield, low work ethic. Not really interested. I would like to see if there's another arm we could get here. That high movement, yeah, that high movement guy, I probably should have looked here sooner, but that high movement guy is gone. There's this guy. Definitely just a reliever, though. Just lots of extreme fly ball guys, and I just don't like players like that at all. I'm not a fan. Not a fan of extreme fly ball guys. Yeah, so I think we're just going to be going bat here the rest of the draft with our last 3 picks. And if we just try to isolate like one standout tool, like this guy's got a void K, high work ethic, probably just a second baseman though. There is one outfield range guy left here, Tim Mitchell, high schooler, high work ethic, might as well take him. He's got the one standout tool, boom, taking him, move things on around 18. Any catchers here possibly? High work ethic, good adaptability, loyalty, low greed, decent catcher ability. There aren't any elite range outfielders here, just a 65 range. This guy is not too bad. He's got some decent potential ratings here. Could play around the infield, low intelligence, don't like that. Love the speed, though, and the bunt for hit. I don't even care. We're taking this guy because he's got a sick name. He's from New Jersey. It's just, you gotta love it. We're taking this guy here. High schooler. That's our 18th round pick. Boom. Move things on around 19. Scat thinks we should take this guy. Decent eye. Not much else to him. This guy. Here we go. Catcher. Could possibly have a decent eye. Power combo. High leader. Let's get him in the system here. Mike Wilson. Boom. Move things on around 20. And not really any standout defensive abilities here. There is the 75 Void K guy. High work ethic. All right, so here it's basically coming down to 2 guys. We've got this pitcher, who I would force play as a position player because he's got some decent defensive ratings. Looks like he could be a decent power bat, like in the style of like Vukovic or somebody like that. He does have a bit of a demand, though, so not really interested in that. He is interesting as a bat. But then we've also got this infield range guy who's listed as an outfielder. Low work ethic, but could be decent with the bat a little, or at least getting on base. You know, has one like standout possible decent eye discipline, and he has the good infield range with a really poor arm, though. Not a turn double play, so maybe not him. There are also a couple catcher ability guys here, like Ken Rebar here, low work ethic, but high intelligence, good catcher ability. Could be a decent catcher to have in the system. Or there's this guy who has 70 ability, but he has high leader. I think we're going to go with that. We're going to go with the leader guy here, Gilberto Rivera. He is going to be our 20th round pick. Boom, that is our draft. We have finished the 2026 first year player draft. Take a look at our negotiate with draftees here, and we should be able to fit in all of these guys. We were indeed. All these guys have been offered their bonuses, and I believe, yeah, we have a little bit less than $2 million in money for free agents right now. So probably not going to be signing any international amateur free agents this year, but I mean, it's fine. We're the number 2 overall pick in the draft. I feel like we could have easily picked up enough talent to make up for that in the draft this season.